Good evening. My name is Corey Schaus. I'm the director of the... Emily, come on now. I'm the director of the Latino Latin American Studies program here at St. John's. I'm going to begin with the land recognition and then talk to you about our series and introduce tonight's special guest. I want to remind us all that both the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University occupy the original homelands of the Dakota and the Anishinaabe people. We honor, respect, and acknowledge the indigenous peoples forcibly removed from this territory, whose connection remains today. St. Benedict's Monastery and St. John's Abbey previously operated assimilation boarding schools for Native children. Now students, faculty, and staff are working to repair relationships with our Native and Nation partners. Okay, so I'm gonna start with kind of a trivia question. And my students who know me, maybe this is a little bit of a cheat, but can you tell me, guess, what you think the largest ethnic parade in the United States is? Our largest ethnic parade. Anybody, raise your hand, take a guess. Gina?
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. It is not the Cinco de Mayo, but that's a good guess. I'm not going to ask you because I bet you know. You should know. Anybody else? Ethnic parades. So ethnic groups, people that are from somewhere else that are celebrating their heritage in this country, in a city, with a special parade. Emily?
The Puerto Rican parade.
The Puerto Rican Day Parade. Okay. Did you know? Did she tell you? It's the biggest in the country. It's the biggest. It's bigger than St. Patrick's Day in New York City. It's bigger than Mardi Gras on Fat Tuesday in New Orleans. It's not bigger than the Thanksgiving Day Parade that Macy's puts on in New York City, but of ethnic groups, it's the biggest. Okay? So why is this so important? What's the big deal with putting on a parade, putting on a festival? Well, that's the question that this series is aiming to answer, right? Well, I want to welcome to the first event in the series on parades and manifestations of public identity in Latinx communities. We have 3 events this semester. This is the kickoff event. The second one is going to be off campus, where my students and I are going to be working with Argentine artist Constanza Carballo as part of International Women's Day in Northeast Minneapolis. We're going to be participating with a walking mural, and there's going to be a host of other events. If you're interested in joining us, please come. And then on April 14th, 2 authors from New York City are going to come to talk to us about clothing, fashion versus costuming in the Puerto Rican Day Parade. So if you're interested in attending those events and are willing to write a 250-word reaction paper to each one, you can get an extra 1 credit towards graduation. So if you're interested, you do all 3, a free credit, come see me afterwards. Okay, so my students know that I love to ask the question, who are we and who are they? These are the pronouns we use all the time. We and they and us and them, right? What does it mean to belong? What does it mean? What are some of the ways that different groups express their identities? What does it mean to claim our heritage as part of our past versus claiming our seat at the table and our difference in the present? And after tonight, I'm going to ask again, what does it mean to throw a parade? Okay, so tonight's speaker is Santino Franco. He is the co-chair organizer of the Westside Cinco de Mayo Fiesta. He is a lifelong, to-the-bone Westside St. Paul guy, born and raised in St. Paul in a hospital overlooking St. Paul. For 25 years, he's been a community advocate, a coach, a mentor. He's a member of the Westside Boosters, which is the group that's currently organizing the Westside Cinco de Mayo. He's got a son who's on the St. Paul School Board. He's a Teamster. He's a colorful guy. He's got lots to tell us about this very important, very near and dear expression of community identity right here in Minnesota. So give a nice warm Johnny Benny welcome to Santino Franco.
Thank you. Thank you for having me tonight. I'll never pass up an opportunity to speak about my culture and my community, where I've come from and what I've done. So I'm honored to be here and to share that with you guys today. Me, personally, you know, when people think about Mexican, Mexicano, I'm cut kind of from a different cloth. I was born and raised in St. Paul. My grandparents came from Texas in 1952. My mom spoke nothing but Spanish when she got here. But somewhere in that line, that Spanish quit getting spoke to us. So I speak a little bit of Spanish. I understand a lot of it. But, so, you know, we talk about identity. I identify, I'm Chicano. I like to say I'm Chicano. I've been telling people I'm Chicano since I've been a little kid, since 12 years old. And we'll get into a little bit of what Chicano means. But like I said, the Westside is a little bit different. A lot of Tejano, a lot of Mexicano, and but we welcome everybody. So we'll just get started with the slides here. Westside Cinco de Mayo Parade. It's a community tradition. Let's see. What do you think Cinco de Mayo celebrates? It's the Battle of Puebla. The Mexican army won the battle against French over. The odds were against them, and they pulled it out, and they won, and so that was celebrated on Cinco de Mayo. It's not Mexican Independence Day. We get that a lot, where people will come down and they'll say, well, you know, they don't even celebrate Cinco de Mayo in Mexico. Why do you guys celebrate it here? We celebrate it here. We look at it as Cinco de Mayo is something that we put on as a community now and before, but it's a celebration of our neighborhood. And we're not really celebrating the battle, but we're celebrating who we are and what we've done, what we've accomplished as a community and culture. There is a lot of pride grown into a day of Mexican American pride and cultural celebration, but there's a lot of cultures in St. Paul on the west side. If you go down there, we're a melting pot. And there's a lot of different cultures there, and if you've ever been to a Cinco de Mayo, you'll see a lot of different cultures that are celebrated. So it's just not a Mexican celebration, it's a celebration of everybody that's on the west side. We'll talk about that. Again, we'll get into the celebration of culture and community. So, when I was 11 years old, and the Cinco de Mayo just came up, 1984. Streets weren't shut down. It was kind of just a little neighborhood celebration. But it turned into something different. And started out being led by the community businesses. They took it on themselves, and they wanted to showcase their neighborhood. And so the businesses got together and started the Cinco de Mayo. And that's how it all began in our neighborhood. Again, 1984. I remember being 11 years old. I didn't even know what the Cinco de Mayo was. Drove by, people were out celebrating, and it was really not a big deal. And then we get to 1985. 1985. I'm about to be 52 years old, and I can remember 1985 Cinco de Mayo. Me and all my friends, we went out, got the official Cinco de Mayo shirts. We had our baggy pants and our winos, and we walked around, and we were the proudest we could ever be. The streets were shut down. That was the first year they had a parade. Vendors in the street, we've never seen anything like that. We've never had Mexican vendors in the street. We never had tacos in the street. We never had any of that. And this is the first time that we had something like that. It's something we could call ours. This is ours. This is a showcase of our neighborhood, and there was just a lot of pride that came with the celebration of the Cinco de Mayo. It's colorful, you know, we have, you name it, in our parade, dance, mariachis, everybody. I mean, we had last year, I believe we had 80 participants in our parade. That makes for a long parade, especially when it's raining, and that's what it did. But it was a great day. What does the Cinco de Mayo mean to the community? So Cinco de Mayo, what does it mean to the community? Well, we start out, we find a grand marshal. And this gentleman here is, his name is Benedict. He's from Texas. He was a decorated soldier. He's probably one of the only ones that we've gotten out of the community that came here and was our grand marshal. Typically, the neighborhood will pick a grand marshal, somebody who's done a lot of work in the neighborhood, somebody who the community looks up to, and so selecting a grand marshal is big for us. You know, we put them on display. They're the ones in the parade that everybody knows, and so that's a big deal for us. The grand marshal. Celebrate dance, music, lowrider, and softball. Some of you probably think, what does softball have to do with Cinco de Mayo? Well, I'll tell you. As a little kid, we would sit there, and that's what Cinco de Mayo was. We watched softball tournaments, and we walk around. Then I got to an age at 18 where that's what the Cinco de Mayo meant to me. Me and my friends, we had our team, and it was all neighborhood teams, and we'd play against each other, and that was a big prize. Who's gonna be the champion of the Cinco de Mayo softball tournament? And from 18 to 30, 32, 33, when I got too old to play, that's how we celebrated the Cinco de Mayo. My family, my kids, my friends, and their kids, we were all around the ball field. We had our own music playing. We had my grandma's breakfast burritos, and if you were on my team, you got to have them. And if you weren't, you didn't get to have them. But softball was a big thing for us, and it still is. The softball tournament has been going since 1984, and it's still going. And I just got a call today from somebody that wanted to register for the softball tournament. They wanted to make sure they got in for the tournament. Lowriders, we're trying to build the car show back up. Last year, we probably had about 60 cars. Trying to get it bigger, trying to get cars from Chicago, Milwaukee to come, offering money, prizes. Maybe that'll help them get there, but that's part of the culture. And when I say the cultures are kind of mixed, when you talk about Mexicano and you talk about Chicano, when you talk about lowriders, that's kind of like a Chicano, kind of, it's a mix of things. The dance, if you're Latino, you grew up on dance, you grew up on music, didn't matter what kind of music. Me, myself, I grew up on Mexican music, but I grew up on old school R&B. Saturday mornings when my mom was cleaning, old school R&B came on, that's what we listened to, that's what we cleaned to. And so there's a difference, just celebrating the dance and the music, all kinds of different dance and music that we grew up on. Chicano movement. What's the Chicano movement? My generation, Generation X, we were coached, our dads, our uncles, our aunts, they were all part of the Chicano movement. They were Brown Berets in the late 60s, early 70s. So the Chicano movement had a big influence on me and my friends and on how we coached and things we did. The Chicano movement meant a lot to us, just knowing the stories of how Chicano movement got the Chicano studies at the University of Minnesota. The guys that got that, like I said, they were our mentors, and they taught us a lot. And Chicano movement means a lot to us in the neighborhood, and to me. Of course, Cinco de Mayo, we used to bring 80,000 people to the streets of the Westside. And of course, it's gonna support all the businesses, and hopefully somebody's gonna learn about our community, and they're gonna come down just not on Cinco de Mayo, but other days to celebrate with us and spend their money. We used to be one of the largest celebrations in the Midwest. COVID and other things kind of took that away. But the organization I'm with right now, we're working on a 3-day event. Friday, it's only been Saturday for the last couple of years, but we're working on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we want to get back to having one of the largest events. This was last year, and you can see it rained from 5 o'clock in the morning until like 11, and then the people came out. We still had over 10,000 people, and so we're looking to get back the crown of one of the largest celebrations in Minnesota. So we have some great entertainment coming up. Live music, mariachi again, Tejano. The West Side, there's a lot of people that came from Texas. So there's a big Tejano movement, not movement, but there's a lot of people that enjoy the Tejano music. We have non-food vendors, and they sell their crafts. It's just a great day to be a Mexican, and a great day to be on the West Side doing what we do. The traditional Mexican dance. So our dance, the dancers that we have that perform there, they go down to Mexico for 10 days every year, and they learn different dances from different states of Mexico. The different colored dresses, they're Los Alegres Bailadores. The different colors of dresses and the different dances that they learn, they put a lot of time and effort into it. They go from anywhere from kindergarten to professionals. And we love watching the dance. We have our Aztec dancers as well. But Los Alegres, they do a heck of a job, and they kind of they kind of show off our culture, the color and the atmosphere. Sorry. As you guys can tell, this is not my cup of tea. I'm a truck driver. I'm a truck driver that does community work. But when I got asked to come here, I said, yes, I'm coming. Authentic food vendors. That we do have authentic food vendors, but there was a time where we had French fries and Pronto Puffs and things like that. That just drove me crazy. Like, that had nothing to do with Cinco de Mayo. So now that we're taking it over, now that we have kind of a hand on what happens, we try to make it more authentic. But everybody loves fries. I mean, shit. I'm sorry. See, there's that truck driver. Again, the car show, kids activity, carnival rides. We haven't had carnival rides since mid-2000s, but we're bringing them back this year. This was an undertaking that I had no idea how big it was to run a festival, to coordinate all the entertainment, coordinate trash. I mean, the trash, I couldn't believe we spent $20,000 on trash, cleaning up trash. So this is, it's a great time. Leading into Cinco last year, I couldn't wait for it, but then I couldn't wait for it to be over because all the hours that we put into this. Westside Boosters. Who are the Westside Boosters? They're a 501c3, and we do athletics from kindergarten to 8th grade. It's a program that I played in, from kindergarten to 8th grade. And it's a program that I coached in for over 20 years. 80% of our coaches have played and then coached. And we take a lot of pride in this. And so when we took this over, we looked at it as a fundraiser for our Westside Boosters. And this is our biggest fundraiser for the year. And last year we raised $60,000 in sponsorships. And again, I'm not somebody that goes to businesses and asks for money, but we had to do it, and that $60,000 went right into our general fund. So we do a lot of good work. You guys know Jalen Suggs? Anybody heard of Jalen Suggs? Anybody? Nobody? No basketball players here? All right, I won't brag about where he came from then. We do girls and boys activities. Yeah, we're a local nonprofit. We took it over. There was a St. Paul Festival, Heritage Festival. They ran our festival for about 10 years, and we didn't like the way they ran it. And then COVID happened. We seen an opportunity, and we took it, and we're running with it, and we're going to try to make it bigger and better. I know this wasn't 40 minutes, Corey, but
Great.
Again, what it says here, it's just not a party. It's a celebration. It's a celebration of who we are and what we do. Again, we're a melting pot. Corey was just telling me how he's down there and he's seen so many different ethnicities, and that's what we are. I went to school, we were predominantly Mexican, but we had so many other people that came to our school, and we celebrate everybody. Look at that. Now that has to be from the 80s, and that's what we're trying to get to again. We're trying to do that again. When I say there was 80,000 people there, that's what it looked like, and there were some good times. That goes without saying. Yes, it strengthens our community, the identity, the pride that we have, that that we can say that this is ours. It's community-led. We do this. There's nobody on our committee that gets paid. Everybody does it on their own. We put a lot of hours into it, and we're very, very proud of the work that we do. Here's our Mexican-American vets. And sadly, there's only a couple more left in this group. But again, highlights Latino contributions in Minnesota. There's a lot of contributions in the day and times that we're in right now with everything going on politically and all that stuff. It's good to see some faces that look like you doing work that you can be proud of. And that's just something we're trying to do. Trying to give everybody a look at what we do. I guess that was quick. That was quick, but any questions about the event, the parade, the Westside? I'd be glad to answer them.
I was there last year, and there was there's an area with a bunch of dogs. What's the story behind that?
That was the first year that we did it was a bully show, a bulldog show. And so when they first brought up the idea of doing a bulldog show, at first I said, nah, I really don't fit into what we do. And then I thought about it. And I thought, lowriders, and then, okay, yeah, I own a bully. I've always owned a bully. And I'm like, okay, lowriders, bulldogs, and music. All right, so we did it. And it was kind of pretty cool. It was in El Burrito's parking lot. And one of the owners, Missy, when it was over, she's pretty finicky. I didn't know what she was going to think about it, but she came out, told us she loved the whole Bulldog show, and but we're not doing it this year. Instead of that, we're having luchadores. So, yeah, we're bringing them in this year. Let's talk about our lineup a little bit. We have a wrestling event, luchadores, that I'm not a big wrestling fanatic, but we have a card, I guess, that's going to make some people jealous that are coming in. We're going to have these wrestlers coming in from Mexico. A couple hours of wrestling. We have a gentleman by the name of Pepe Marquez. He's California, LA raised. He's in the Lowrider Hall of Fame, and he's going to be our main performer on the we're calling it the R&B stage. We got some Tejano bands coming, some banda, norteño. We're going to go Friday night. We're going to have a couple little concerts Friday night, a car show 2 days. So it's going to be fun. You guys can get away from school a little bit, come on down, enjoy yourselves. There's got to be some more questions.
When is it like Friday to Sunday, Friday to Monday?
The plan is Friday the 2nd, and then the 3rd, and then we're working on Sunday, but we're pretty much probably go the 3rd, and that'll be it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You have a question?
What's your, I mean, besides like it being a huge like community thing and all, what's your like favorite activity during the whole festival?
My favorite activity?
Or like you do like top two or three?
Well, I have a 1970 Monte Carlo, so I like to drive my car. So being able to drive my car down there in the car show, I say that's my favorite activity. That, and I still, so our softball tournament has always been just a male tournament. I have 3 daughters. So a few years ago, I told them, let's get a team. We'll get girls, I'll do your pitcher. And so we got a girls team. And they've been playing ever since. So my second favorite is to go watch them play. And their name's Lady Cartel. They're a little gangster, but but they do pretty good. They haven't won a game yet, but I mean they're playing against men. And so I say that's my second, and then of course eating the food, walking around, trying all the different foods. That's probably key.
Kind of going off that, do you have a favorite vendor that you like stop on?
A favorite vendor. So one of my favorite vendors, he's straight out of Lake Street in Minneapolis. And they're he's called Taco Taxi. And man, he's pretty good. He's a good one. But there was one down there last year. You guys must be from Minneapolis. You guys know Taco Taxi. I heard the approval over there. So yeah, but there's many. There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good ones. There was one last year, and I wish I knew the name of it. Everybody was raving about it, and I tried it, and I think they were better than Taco Taxi. They're pretty good. Come on. Hit me with some more.
Who makes the best elote?
Well, I have to give it to El Burrito. They've had it the longest, and they've been there. They bust out 2 or 3 machines for that day. So, and they usually have lines around the block for them. So, yeah, that's a great question. You know what? And when you talk about elotes, like I said, we're kind of like Tex-Mex. I don't know what the heck elotes were. And then all of a sudden, many years ago, I said, what the heck is this? So, again, that's different. People talk about Mexican food, and some people will say, well, that's not really Mexican food. You talk to some Mexicanos, and they'll say, you guys make flour tortillas? We don't make flour tortillas. We make corn tortillas. Or that's not real Mexican food. And I laugh and I say, well, my grandma was from Texas, and my grandma made flour tortillas. So according to that, that's Mexican food. But there's a big debate. What's Mexican food? What's not Mexican food? Come on. Any more?
How do you advertise the event?
That's a great question, because us being new and learning how to get that event out, This year, we hired somebody to market, get it out there. We just did a press kit, getting that press stuff out. And the owner of El Burrito, she's really good at marketing, so she's helping us get it out there as well. So, but, you know, me being a novice and not knowing very much, again, that's what makes this a great festival, is the community has helped. There's somebody that knows this and somebody that knows that, and, you know, we're all trying to put it together and make it work. Come on, come on.
How long does it take you to plan, like the whole thing? Do you have to start like right after?
So Cinco de Mayo gets over, and then we have to start planning Mexican. While Cinco de Mayo is going, we're trying to plan Mexican Independence Day. So as soon as Mexican Independence Day is over, the weekend of September 15th, 16th, all that, then we jump right back into Cinco de Mayo. So it's almost a year-round deal. Again, like I said, we don't get paid for this. Nobody gets paid, and there's a lot of hours. We meet every Wednesday, and we sit there and we throw ideas out, and we talk about entertainment, who can we bring in, and just things like that. So it's a lot of time. I work from 2 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. So then when we get into Wednesdays, I'm dragging at work that next day. So, like I said, I'm not a professional speaker, but I am a professional truck driver. Go ahead.
What are the criteria for the groups that want to participate in the parade?
We have a few different. We have like we have businesses. You know, businesses that they pay a different amount. We have just regular 501c3s. There's really no criteria. We let anybody in. More the merrier. You know.
So if I had a group of students from a like experiencing Latin American culture club that wanted to put together participation, we could bring a cohort to participate in the parade.
No doubt about it. Yeah, we've had colleges around St. Paul that have, you know, brought their marching bands and did things. So yeah.
What do you think about it?
I mean, I would go into it.
You go anyway?
Well, both ends anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll be in contact.
All right, cool. You have my number.
Any other questions? All right. Well, let's give our friends.